On behalf of the Global Independent VMUG organization, I'd like to welcome you to today's webcast. Unleash your storage performance at VMware ESX using StarWind HyperConverged Appliance with ISER, presented by Taras Shved. Before we get started, I would like to thank our audience for participating in today's webcast and for your continued participation in the VMUG program. Just as a reminder, VMUG offers a number of benefits to our members, including complimentary local VMUG meetings and full-day conferences taking place around the world, our monthly e-newsletter VMUG Voice, access to the VMUG website at vmug.com, educational webcasts like these, and the ability to subscribe to VMUG Advantage, a benefits package only available to VMUG members that provides discounts on training, exams, licenses, eval experience, and VMworld. Make sure to take advantage of everything VMUG has to offer. Moving on, I have 3 housekeeping items. First, we are recording today's session and will make our recording available for on-demand. You can expect to receive a follow-up email directing you to the recording. Second, we will be holding a Q&A session throughout the presentation. All questions need to be entered into the Q&A widget window to ensure our speaker sees and receives them. They will be addressed one by one accordingly. And third, there will be a short online evaluation that pops up when you leave the webcast. Please make sure to take a minute to let us know what you thought of today's session and what you'd like to see moving forward. And with that, I'd like to hand it over to Taras. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Karen. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you very much for taking the time and attending our webcast. Actually, I'm really excited about the opportunity to present our product on VMUG for you. And almost a month ago, I've been talking about our product in general. Today, we will speak about our StarWind HyperConverged Appliance, a turnkey hardware solution that is pre-built and pre-configured, which means much less work for you. But I will focus on some particular features that differ our VMware vSAN and StarWind vSAN-based versions, and how do we implement the RDMA ISER technology, trying to squeeze out the maximum performance that underlying hardware can offer. And let me shortly introduce myself once again. My name is Taras. I am heading a sales engineering department here at StarWind headquarters, being directly involved into development of the new product and features. And I'm very pleased, and it's a great honor for me to present our new product for the second time to VMUG today. My position might probably sound a bit confusing, so I have to explain that I'm definitely not a sales guy, and I assume most of you are also experienced VMware users and administrators, like deeply tech people. So in our today's webcast, I will try to be as technical as possible instead of just pitching stuff, and especially during our questions and answer session at the end of the webcast. So, just a short introduction about our company, who is not familiar with it. As you probably know, StarWind Software has been around for over 13 years already, providing extremely efficient software-defined storage solution called StarWind Virtual SAN. In 2009, we have made a spin-off to a pure storage-focused company, and in 2011, we released an industry standard and first hyperconverged storage solution for Hyper-V. 4 years later, our first hardware product, HyperConverged Appliance, arrived. I have to admit here that it is incredibly successful and brings us hundreds of satisfied customers and a lot of positive feedback. Based on this feedback, we are hardly working every day on delivering extremely demanded features to our customers that include a revamped version of our hyperconverged appliances that now includes either VMware vSAN, StarWind vSAN, or even Microsoft Storage Spaces Direct as an internal data mover. RDMA ISER technologies, hardware cloud gateway that allows you to seamlessly offload your data to cloud without any additional software or drivers. And right now we are working towards NVMe over Fabric connectivity. So what is it actually? Shortly said, it is a turnkey virtualization solution, which is a buzzword, I know, and I hate it. So I would call it a solution that unifies a commodity servers like white boxes some disks and flash, a hypervisor of your choice, and the virtual SAN of your choice, and some associated software into a single, scalable and manageable layer. HyperConverged Appliance allows you to easily build a complete, reliable, and scalable IT virtualization infrastructure from scratch, or extend your existing one, like achieving high availability and fault tolerance for your mission-critical applications. One of the greatest benefits here is the simplicity. Since we take care about the initial configuration that totally fits your needs and requirements, all you will have to do is to plug in the cables and start spinning up your virtual machine. I realize that most of us do love our jobs in terms of having fun, like setting up and configuring clusters and playing around with hardware. And you might say, hey, man, I don't want someone to do my job for me. But I would say if you can save your time for more interesting and challenging tasks instead of routine ones, then why not? With a virtual SAN of choice, I mean that you are flexible in choosing what will be the elements that move and synchronizes data between hosts participating in the cluster, since StarWind HyperConverged Appliance offers a choice of software-defined storage options. And you can utilize StarWind Virtual SAN or VMware vSAN as a virtual storage provider. People keep constantly asking me about why are we using various competitive software-defined storage solutions in our product. The true matter here is that StarWind Virtual SAN, which is our own product, is a complementary rather than competitive solution to well-known VMware Virtual SAN. In case if we see that you can reduce the cost of the whole solution by avoiding to pay for the VMware vSAN features you do not actually need, we'll use our own software and that's it. If we see that you are going to benefit from a combined solution, we will provide you with a stack where VMware vSAN will coexist with the StarWind Virtual SAN on the same hardware. Technically, what we do here at StarWind is like tapping holes in VMware products and positioning strategy in terms of features they miss, as well as bringing the whole hyperconvergence to another level, like making a good quality hardware even more affordable and setting a 24/7 support as a routine and a checkbox feature. To be more precise here and give you an example, you can benefit from all flash configurations that will have deduplication and compression options along with ISO and RDMA capabilities without investing too much into vSAN licenses, which is quite perfect, I think, for small businesses and remote and branch offices that do not tend to have large infrastructure and thus having quite limited budgets. Even with newly announced iSCSI connectivity in vSAN 6.5, you can still benefit having StarWind Virtual SAN in our appliances since we provide industry standard fast and reliable iSCSI with 2 additional levels of caching, deduplication, log structuring that might be very useful in mixed environments where you need to feed storage to other Windows or Xen server or KVM-based hosts and clusters over iSCSI. In this case, you can do it without spinning additional virtual machines or services as storage controllers. Most of the beautiful features VMware vSAN offers are possible starting with 3 nodes and more. With StarWind vSAN, you can get all of the mentions about stuff with only 2 nodes. That is completely enough for small businesses and robots and significantly saves your budget too. And we have spent years and years on testing various hardware and software components to offer you the exceptional quality, reliability, and performance, along with simplicity and low cost of the solution, which was maybe the cornerstone of all this stuff. StarWind HyperConverged Appliance is based on Dell PowerEdge OEM hardware or Hewlett-Packard Enterprise OEM solution, and we are every day constantly working towards expanding our hardware product line. Performance is boosted using flash SSDs and NVMe cards by Intel, and high-speed networking is granted by Mellanox cards inside. Depending on your needs and current configuration, we can offer you appliances that have VMware vSphere as a hypervisor, as a hypervisor, a virtual SAN of choice, and the Veeam backup and replication that provides fast, flexible, and reliable recovery of virtualized application and data. Network in background is powered by one of my favorite vendors, Mellanox. These robust pieces of hardware provide incredibly high performance while still being quite flexible platforms with low power consumption and using multi-host technology across multiple cores. Name Veeam is self-explaining, so I guess I will just shortly clarify its role in our solution. Along with StarWind Virtual SAN, Veeam backup and replication is step and hold of other products included. Offers a high-speed recovery of your data, avoids data loss in the virtualized environment, proven ability to recover almost any type of data, complete visibility of backup infrastructure and data leverages, helps you to easily follow the 3-to-1 backup rule, including disaster recovery scenarios on-site and in the cloud. While StarWind Virtual SAN provides you the ability of asynchronous whole storage-based replication, Veeam offers the same on macro virtual machine level, making our solution incredibly flexible in terms of configuration and possible scenarios. A frequent question that I hear from prospecting customers is regarding the pricing of our solution, since Dell and HP Enterprise are known not only because of exceptional quality and usability of their server hardware, but also because of somewhat higher pricing compared to other similar vendors, and thus result in a higher price for our hardware solution. Therefore, they are usually pleasantly surprised after receiving the quotation from our sales department, and I will try to explain that, since we are producing a large amount of hardware products, and we have an admirable discount from our OEM partners for their hardware. Nothing special, a lot of other players in the market do the same. What they do not, and we are proud about, that we gladly share these discounts with our customers, which means you will probably never be able to build such a kind of system from the components by yourself at the same price. And I have 2 questions already in my inbox, so I will start with the first one. It's coming from Travis. Okay, and Karen already answered it. Thank you so much. And another question is from Bill Sprouse, which sounds, with Mellanox, is the internal network InfiniBand then? No, it's not InfiniBand, so it's Ethernet, either 10 gig or 40 gig, but it's not InfiniBand, it's Ethernet, because iSCSI is working over Ethernet, so actually, yeah, it's not Ethernet. Okay, so that's it. I guess we can go on. Okay, so now I will get a little bit deeply technical. A short explanation of what is RDMA and ISOR to those who are probably not familiar with. So ISOR stands for iSCSI extension for RDMA. And RDMA is a remote direct memory access. So basically, that's an extension of the data transfer model of iSCSI, a storage networking standard for TCP/IP, which uses the iSCSI components while taking the advantage of the RDMA protocol's use. This link protocol can be either Ethernet or InfiniBand at any supported speed, like 10, 40, 56, or 100 gigs a second. The main advantage of ISOR is that it uses the RDMA protocol to supply higher bandwidth for block storage transfer, which is called zero-time copy behavior. To that fact, it eliminates the TCP/IP processing overhead, like the whole Ethernet overhead, while preserving the compatibility with iSCSI protocol. In addition, it has the lowest latency and lowest CPU utilization. Moreover, it enjoys the stability and benefits of the iSCSI protocol, like security, high availability, and so on. So taking all this in mind, it gives faster rates than pure iSCSI or pure fiber channel or fiber channel over Ethernet, and is much easier to manage than SRP, so iSCSI RDMA protocol. Let's take a closer look at VMware vSAN-based appliances architecture, so which we also offer, I assume it is most probably well known to you, so I will try to be short. We provide a server that is included in the VMware compatibility guide and pack it with some SAS or SATA or PC Express SSD flash drives and SAS nearline SAS or SATA HDDs. We need at least one of those, obviously, for vSAN to work. And we have 1 gig or 10 gig network adapters. In order for vSAN to work properly, we need a SAS HBA, SATA controllers, or RAID cards that are capable to work in pass-through mode. Otherwise, vSAN won't work. On some RAID controllers, it means creating a lot of RAID 0 groups consisting of a single drive, which is a mess, yeah, I know. And we add an SD card or SATA DOM or a USB flash drive or just a boot SSD or HDD, depending on your needs and wishes for ESX operating system. If we build a 3-node or more node configuration, it is a very reliable and feature-rich hyperconverged solution, so hyperconverged cluster, literally. It has all the bells and whistles someone might need, like erasure coding, deduplication, compression, seamless failover, single pane of management, the VMware vCenter. Quite nice, you know, until we see the actual licensing code. I mean, it's definitely worth it, and if you plan to invest some money into your hyperconverged infrastructure, and you plan to scale, linearly, like scaling compute and storage layers along with each other, it's totally okay. If you plan to start with 3 nodes or more and then scale storage and compute together. But since we are talking more small and medium business and robos here, it means rather smaller deployments, limited budgets, maybe some more flexibility in scale in both directions, storage or compute. And that is something you barely can do with VMware vSAN, but an easy job for StarWind vSAN-based appliances. So why do we still propose StarWind vSAN-based appliances along with VMware vSAN-based ones that seem to be completely competitive to each other? I will try to figure out some mostly important features and explain the solutions architecture. Unlike vSAN, that is running on ESXi kernel level, StarWind vSAN cannot be installed directly on bare metal ESXi server. This means that StarWind storage controller runs inside a virtual storage appliance, which is a Windows or Linux-based virtual machine that hosts the storage controller service. Some people think it's a drawback, others state that a benefit. I mean, like typical holy war here. It does not really influence the performance or stability as such. Maybe it's a bit more complex from the management point of view. However, if you know how it works, there is nothing special compared to native vSAN or any other software-defined storage solution. So we have 2 storage controller VMs that are either provisioned as local VMDK files, or the whole directly attached storage is going via RDM or pass-through directly into the virtual machine. The first benefit here is that such kind of configuration is capable to work on top of hardware RAID. 2 important points here. First one is the performance of hardware RAID. I mean, the performance of hardware RAID controller is usually better than a pseudo software-based one like vSAN or other storage solutions have. I mean, Storage Spaces Direct has the same stuff, or kind of the same. Why pseudo? Well, because there was time when RAID meant a redundant array of inexpensive disks or drives. Taken in account Storage Spaces Direct or VMware vSAN licensing policies, it's not so inexpensive anymore. Other even more important point is the redundancy. In case of VMware vSAN, in 2-node scenario, which is possible, and with a special license for it, which is called stretched cluster or robo cluster. I'm not really sure here. So in case of 2-node scenario, we do not have a parity option, which means you have some kind of RAID 10 overall between 2 nodes over network. It's quite nice from capacity point of view, right? But what do you do when a single drive fails in each host, like you have 2, in same moment of time? Whoops. Would be too bad, right? So depending on the storage type you want, in a StarWind vSAN-based appliance, you can have a RAID 5 or RAID 6 flash arrays that result in RAID 51 or RAID 61 over network with only 2 hosts, which is quite cool. Or it can be RAID 10 for spindles that gives you something like RAID 10 plus 1 over network, which is very cool either, since it gives you a fully redundancy on storage and node level. And you have a consistent copy of data in each host participating in the cluster. Another cornerstone are the Mellanox network cards here. Since VMware vSAN does not support any RDMA stuff right now, those interfaces are also provided to storage controller virtual machine over RDM or the new SR-IOV feature that allows to share these networks between ESXi host and the controller virtual machine. StarWind vSAN supports ISER for both synchronization channel and the iSCSI connection that can be used for Heartbeat too. So Heartbeat is a StarWind vSAN feature that eliminates the need of a witness like it is done in VMware vSAN in case you are deploying a 2-node scenario that is called global cluster. Okay, let's finish with the techniques and head on to actual performance comparison charts, right? So we are comparing traditional iSCSI with ISER here because I cannot compare the vSAN performance with StarWind performance, for example, or StarWind with ISER, because these are totally different technologies. So like you know what I explained previously. So I've been comparing the latency of traditional iSCSI protocol and the latency with ISER enabled. And as you can see here, that the latency is greatly reduced when using ISER compared to traditional iSCSI. Even these small gaps between them in latency result in a huge IOPS and bandwidth increase along with CPU RAM resources consumption of load. As I already mentioned, IOPS is much greater. As you can see, we gain up to 2.5 more times higher IOPS on the most critical virtualization pattern, 4K random write, which is really awesome. And result also improved, and actually particularly small block patterns become much faster. While gaining up to 2x additional performance on random, we should expect greater CPU utilization, especially on all-flash configurations. But thanks to ISER, it's much lower. Actually, it's only like 8% for double performance, so you leave much more free CPU resources and CPU power for your primary useful tasks like virtual machine or VDI instead of serving the storage traffic. So yeah, support, I don't like to call it support because yeah, single point of contact is our another known key benefit and probably the best one, I think. That is why we do not tend to call it support, since traditional support by large vendors like VMware or Microsoft or Dell sometimes means cycling between multiple support teams and people or even organizations trying to figure out what is the root cause of the issue. In case of critical issues that might result in irremediable impact to your business, all hardware and software components of our appliances are covered by a single StarWind 24/7, 365 support umbrella. Instead of messing around with a couple of various support services, just call us and our engineers will fix the issue in the shortest time, independent of the root cause, whether it's a hardware malfunction, software issue, or just a slight misconfiguration. I mean, you will have a live and technical person on the call as soon as possible. This kind of approach helps you to minimize your expenses dramatically. And since we are not only splitting our hardware discount with you to make our ready nodes even cheaper than anything, you would build yourself on a do-it-yourself concept. But yeah, our guys and we will babysit your clusters for you, so you don't need to do anything yourself. No one else does. And we have another question from Travis. Travis, is the latency graph scale using milliseconds? Okay, let me Let me get back to latency scale. So it's in milliseconds, right? So the orange line is the traditional iSCSI. And for greater read-write random write blocks like 64K, you see that the latency is like 2 times less. Okay, you're welcome. So, what are the plans for 2017? Quite ambitious. We are going to implement a fully functional NVMe over Fabric target and initiator support, which means you will be able to build an ultimately performant hyper-converged or converged cluster based on super fast NVMe-based storage. Of course, NVMe is an important part of our future product and project, but not the only one. Another project is to bring a new hyperconverged and storage appliances like Redinode that will be powered with 3D cross-point and Optane technologies by Intel to provide our customers with an unbeatable performance without breaking the bank. So it still will be for a reasonable price and like SMB and robo targeted, so not enterprise boxes. Since clouds are becoming more and more popular, and the only barrier here, I would say, is the complexity of implementation, we are working towards a transparent NVMe to SSD to nearline SAS to cloud tiering. Transparent means it will be hardware-based and won't need any additional software installation or configuration, independent of the operating system or hypervisor you choose. And that's it for today. Thank you very much for taking your time to attend this webinar. If you have any questions left regarding today's topic or about StarWind in general, I will gladly try to answer them. In case I will not be able to get the answer out of my head, it would be perfect to get it over email you see on your screens right now with VMware webinar and subject, or just give us a call. And now I am giving back to Karin because she's got something to say to you.
Yes, thank you so much. So a part of today's webcast, if you chose to opt in during your registration, you were automatically entered into winning a free Amazon gift card. And so I'm going to now announce the winner of that gift card, and this is all random. And our winner is R.S. Sundar. So RS, if you could just comment in the Q&A widget located on the screen, the best email address for our team to send you that Amazon gift card. We will also be following up with you. And so, Taras, it looks like we did receive a few additional questions if you want to cover those as well.
Okay, sure. So congratulations to a winner. Okay, so another question from Travis. Travis, what is the minimal write latency in microseconds? ISOR or RDMA means a sub-microsecond or sub-millisecond latency. Of course, the actual latency will depend on the load. So if you are like doing a very slightly load, it will lay on sub-millisecond latency. So if it's highly loaded with a lot of outstanding IOs, with a lot of threads, the latency will grow. So it's just depend on load. Okay. But if you are not overloading your storage, it will be in sub-microsecond level.
Perfect. Well, it looks like we do not have any additional questions. Would you like to share some final thoughts with us?
Well, actually, that's it. Thank you so much for attending this webinar. Should you have any questions later, or I mean, like interested in our product or something, just give us a call or send an email over. I wish you a perfect day and hope you have enjoyed the session, and hope to see you later again on VMware.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Taras, for taking the time to speak with us today, and for our attendees for joining us. You will receive a follow-up email directing you to the materials from today's webcast. And please make sure to complete the short online evaluation that pops up when you leave to let us know how today's session went. Thank you again for attending, and have a wonderful rest of your day.